It's April 30th, 1945. Deep underground, beneath the burning ruins of Berlin, a man sits in a concrete bunker. The walls shake. Soviet shells explode above him. The city he once paraded through in triumph is collapsing. He picks up a pistol. In a few moments, Adolf Hitler will be dead. But the question we should ask is not how he died. It's how he rose. How did a failed art student, a man who once slept in homeless shelters, become the most powerful and destructive dictator in modern history? Let's go back. Vienna, 1908. A young man walks the cold streets alone. His name is Adolf Hitler. He's 19 years old. He's carrying a small portfolio under his arm, drawings, sketches, paintings. He dreams of being an artist. But today he's walking out of the Academy of Fine Arts. Rejected. Again. He stands outside the building, staring at the doors. His hands are shaking. Not from the cold, from rage. Why? Why not me? He doesn't say it out loud. But the thought burns in his mind. For the next few years, Hitler drifts. He has no job, no friends, no plan. He moves from one cheap room to another. Sometimes he paints postcards and sells them on the street just to buy bread. He spends hours in libraries, reading philosophy, history, politics, but mostly he's alone. People who knew him back then said he was strange, quiet, secretive. He avoided eye contact. He didn't laugh much. Inside, something dark was growing. He began to hate the city. Vienna, with its mix of cultures, languages, Jews, immigrants. He saw it as chaos. And chaos, he believed, needed order. Then, in 1914, everything changed. World War I begins. Hitler is living in Munich now. When he hears the news, he's ecstatic. He writes to the King of Bavaria, "I ask to be allowed to serve." Within days, he's accepted into the army. For the first time in his life, Adolf Hitler feels like he belongs. He's sent to the front lines in Belgium. Muddy trenches, explosions, blood. But he doesn't break. He volunteers for dangerous missions, running messages between command posts under heavy fire. His comrades think he's crazy. But Hitler? He's alive. One officer later said, "He was the strangest soldier I ever met, calm under fire. But he never talked about home, never mentioned friends or family. It was like the war was all he had." In 1918, near the end of the war, Hitler is caught in a British gas attack. He wakes up in a hospital, temporarily blinded. And then he hears the news. Germany has surrendered. He lies in that bed, his eyes bandaged, and he weeps. Not from pain, from humiliation. Germany, his Germany, had been betrayed. He believes it with every fiber of his being. And in that hospital bed, something hardens inside him. A mission, purpose. Munich, 1919. The war is over, but Germany is broken. The economy is in ruins. People are angry, confused, looking for someone to blame. Hitler is working as a political informant for the army now. His job? Spy on radical groups. One night, he walks into a back room of a beer hall. About 40 people are sitting on wooden chairs. A man at the front is talking about nationalism, about workers, about Germany's future. It's a meeting of the German Workers' Party. Hitler sits in the back, arms folded, listening. Then someone in the crowd says something he doesn't like. Hitler stands up, and he starts talking. His voice is sharp, confident, angry. Everyone turns to look. For the first time, Adolf Hitler speaks in public. And he's good. One of the party members, Anton Drexler, walks up to him afterward. "You should join us." Hitler hesitates. But then he thinks, why not? He joins. Within 2 years, he's leading it. He renames it the National Socialist German Workers' Party. The Nazis. Hitler discovers something about himself. He can move people with words. Not through logic. Not through charm. Through emotion. He speaks at beer halls, at rallies, in the street. His speeches aren't calm or intellectual. They're volcanic. He shouts. He pauses. He whispers. He tells Germans they've been humiliated, betrayed, stabbed in the back. And they believe him. Crowds grow. 10 people, 100, 1,000. Men in brown uniforms, the SA, start showing up to protect the meetings, to intimidate enemies, to fight in the streets. Hitler loves it. He's not invisible anymore. He's not the lonely drifter from Vienna. He's a leader. November 8, 1923. Munich. A large beer hall called the Bürgerbraukeller. Hitler walks in with armed supporters. He fires a pistol into the ceiling. The national revolution has begun. He tries to overthrow the government. Right there, that night. It's bold. It's reckless. And it fails. The next day, Hitler and his followers march through the streets. The police are waiting. Shots are fired. 16 Nazis are killed. Hitler is injured and arrested. He's put on trial for treason. But here's the thing. Hitler turns the trial into a stage. He speaks for hours. He defends his actions. He attacks the government. Newspapers print every word. Suddenly, all of Germany knows his name. He's sentenced to 5 years in prison. He serves 9 months. And in that time, he writes Mein Kampf. When Hitler is released, the Nazi Party is weak, divided, almost irrelevant. But he rebuilds it. Slowly, patiently. He learns a lesson from the putsch. Don't seize power by force. Win it legally. For years, the Nazis are a fringe movement. But then, 1929, the Great Depression hits. Millions of Germans lose their jobs. Banks collapse. Families go hungry. People are desperate. And Hitler gives them someone to blame. The Jews, the communists, the politicians in Berlin. He doesn't offer complex solutions. He offers feelings, rage, pride, hope, and it works. In 1930, the Nazis win 18% of the vote. In 1932, they're the largest party in Germany. On January 30th, 1933, the president of Germany, Paul von Hindenburg, makes a decision. He appoints Adolf Hitler as chancellor. Some of Hindenburg's advisors think they can control him. "We've hired him," one says. They're wrong. Within weeks, Hitler begins dismantling democracy. A fire breaks out in the Reichstag, the German parliament. Hitler blames the communists. He convinces Hindenburg to sign an emergency decree, suspending civil rights. Then he pushes through the Enabling Act, giving himself the power to make laws without parliament. By the summer of 1933, all other political parties are banned. Germany is no longer a democracy. It's a dictatorship. And Adolf Hitler is the dictator. It's 1934, a warm June night. Ernst Röhm, one of Hitler's oldest allies, is asleep in a hotel room. The door crashes open. SS soldiers storm in. Röhm wakes up, confused. What's happening? They drag him out. No trial. No explanation. Within hours, he's executed. It's called the Night of the Long Knives. Hitler orders the killing of dozens of people he sees as threats, including former friends. Why? Because power for Hitler is absolute. You're either with him completely or you're dead. Over the next few years, Hitler rebuilds Germany's military. He reoccupies the Rhineland, annexes Austria, takes Czechoslovakia. Each time, Britain and France do nothing. They want peace. Hitler sees it as weakness. On September 1st, 1939, German tanks roll into Poland. 2 days later, Britain and France declare war. World War II has begun. And for a while, Hitler is unstoppable. Poland falls in weeks. France in 6 weeks. By 1940, Nazi Germany controls most of Europe. Hitler stands in front of the Eiffel Tower, victorious. He believes he's won. But then he makes a fatal mistake. June 22, 1941. He invades the Soviet Union. First, it goes well. German troops advance deep into Russian territory. But winter comes, and the Russians don't surrender. The war that Hitler thought would last months drags on for years. Millions die. And in the camps, Auschwitz, Treblinka, Sobibor, the Holocaust unfolds. 6 million Jews murdered. Millions of others, Poles, Roma, disabled people, political prisoners. Hitler's empire is built on ash and blood. By 1945, it's over. The Soviets are closing in from the east. The Americans and British from the west. Berlin is surrounded. Hitler retreats to his bunker beneath the chancellery. The man who once filled stadiums now paces in a concrete tomb. His hands tremble. He's pale, sick, paranoid. On April 29th, he marries his longtime companion, Eva Braun. The next day, he says goodbye to his staff. Then he goes into his private room. He places a pistol to his head and pulls the trigger. Eva takes poison beside him. Their bodies are carried outside, doused in gasoline and burned. So what do we take from this? How does a man like Hitler rise? Not by force alone, but by words, by fear, by offering simple answers to complicated problems. He gave people someone to hate, and in return they gave him everything. Millions followed him. Millions died because of him, and the world he left behind had to be rebuilt from the ashes. Hitler's story isn't just history. It's a warning about what happens when we stop thinking, when we stop questioning, when we let anger replace reason. Because power in the wrong hands doesn't just destroy nations. It destroys humanity.